Welcome to this video. In this video I would like to show and explain you how you can start building workflows in SAP. So in this video I would like to show you to create a simple and beginner workflow so that you can get to start building your own workflows in the SAP system. So enjoy this video and let's get started. So here right now we are in the so-called workflow builder. So you can open up the workflow builder by entering the transaction code SWDD in the command field. And then keep in mind that the last used workflow will be shown. So if you would like to create a new workflow, then you have to click on this button, create new workflow, because if you're not doing this, then if you're making some changes, then you change the previous selected workflow. So keep this always in mind. If you would like to create a new workflow, first of all, click on the create new workflow button. So here within the workflow builder, there you have different areas. And here in the top left corner, there you have the information area. So here basically you can see the ID of your workflow, the version, and that is really important, the status. So here right now we have a blank workflow in the status new, not saved. Within here you have the navigation area. And here you have a very important area. Currently I have selected the step types that can be inserted. So here you can see the steps that can be inserted. If you click on this button, then you can see other areas. So for example, the workflow container. You can click around and so on. But we will need the workflow container later on. So I will select this. There you can see the attributes. So basically the workflow container is an area for the workflow itself to define parameters or variables that can be used within the workflow. You can think of global variables. I will show you in a couple of seconds. Down here you can see the result of some syntax checks if there are some. Right here you can see the graphical model. So here right now I think this is one of the most important areas. Here right now we see the graphical editor. So within here you can create a step, you can change step, and so on. You have a lot of functionalities within here. And on the right side there you have some kind of ability to zoom into the area of a workflow to get some nice detailed information. So here you can directly see, based on the green frame, what is currently showing on this editor. And if you would like to zoom out, then of course you can click this, and you can also increase this and so on. So as mentioned, now I would like to show you how to create a really easy beginner workflow. And in our scenario I would like to just to show you how to order a different amount of smartphones. So for new employees, in our case I would like to order 10 smartphones. Just a demo scenario. And in our case, we need to do this. We need to send this workflow to an employee in the procurement department. So within this, we need to have a variable to enter the employee that or who orders the 10 smartphones. So to do this, there we need to create an element within the container. So first of all, as mentioned, make sure to select the workflow container area and then double click to create. And in here I'd like to create a new element, and it's called PR underscore employee. So the procurement employee, the name once again PR underscore employee, and then down here procurement employee. And then what is really important, basically here you can define basically the object type for a BOR or an ABAP class, what you like. to this container element, or if you like an ABAP dictionary reference, or what we need in our case, an ABAP dictionary data type. Yeah, and to use this, there we use this data element, so SWP underscore agent, because basically we would like to assign this workflow to an SAP user. And then what is really important within properties, we would like to import and export this, because basically there you have the ability to transfer this value within the workflow. If you want to, you can also set it if it is mandatory to start the workflow, yeah, and so on. Or if you like to, you can also, yeah, predefine an initial value and so on. Then we, yeah, to confirm this, and then down here we can see our element within the workflow container. If you made any typos, if you made any yeah, unwished changes, then with double click you can always change back, for example, the data dictionary, and then you can confirm it to confirm your changes. Yeah, and basically that is all we need within the container. Then we have here the graphical editor, and so we would like to, yeah, to create or use activity. So as mentioned, if you want to create one, then you can double click on this, and then here you can select the steps or the step. And in our case, we would like to do a user confirmation, so a user decision. So to do this, first of all, you can double click on this, and then basically, yeah, here you can type in the title. So for example, please order 10 smartphones. Then down here you can type in a decision. So for example, smartphones ordered, or for example, not possible. Then you can, under here, expression, you can decide what you like to assign it to. So in our case, if you'd like to assign it to an expression, you can assign it to a rule, a role, a job, or whatever. In our case, because we would like to use the entered employee, we use expression. And within the F4 help, there basically you can see what kind of agents you can assign it, and we would like to assign it to this element, to this created element. So we double click on this. Yeah, and basically then we save it, and down here you can see that there you have two outcomes, two lines. And if you click once again within here, you can see, for example, on details, some detailed information, on control, basically some information for the agent assignment. And this is really important within the control, because there you definitely have to make sure that this is green, because otherwise it does not work. And we have to change the agent assignment. So we click on this, and then within here you have to make sure to, yeah, to assign it to the org management correctly. So to do this, there you have to click on attributes, and then you have to make sure to select general task. For example, you can limit also the agent assignment, but for our case, we would like to select general task. Then we click on transfer, and then you have to make sure to update the index. So the index was generated, then we're going one step back, and once again, make sure that this icon is green. Then we transfer it, and going one step back, yeah, was added to the buffer. And basically here you have two outcomes. So the smartphones ordered. So in our case, once again, you can just double click to get some detailed information, but we would like to create a new activity, a new step. So we right click, and then we use create. And for our case, because it's just a simple workflow, we would like to send an email as a confirmation. So there we click on send mail. And now here we would just like to send it back to the initiator, so the creator of the workflow. If you want to, you can also, um, select other recipient types that you want to. And so in our case, we would directly send it as an express message if you want to. If you don't select this, then this message is in a kind of wait step, in the sense if you run a job, a ABAP report. But here, for example, smartphones ordered, and there you can some detailed information. The 10 smartphones are ordered, and so on. So yeah, and then we confirm it. Of course, you have to give a new task name. So in our case, set test. So smartphones ordered, just for the sending. Then here you have to select a package for the task. In our case, I just would like to create as a local object. And then we have to do exactly the same for not possible. So right click then on create, send a mail to the initiator. So currently smartphones out of stock, whatever. So, and we would also like to send it as an express mail. Then we confirm it, and we just name it set test 2. So not possible right now, whatever. So then we confirm it. Again, you have the ability to assign it to a package. I would like to create as a local object. And then we have our 2 outcomes. If you want to, you can also change the amount of outcomes. Once again, you can click on this, and for example, here you can add a third option. So for example, third option, and then you can just confirm this. Then you have a third option, but in our case, I would like to delete it. Not necessary right now. Yes, we would like to save this. Then we have basically our 2 outcomes, and then it is safe. If you you can also add this step if you click on this line and then right click, and then you can also add a step. So for example, an activity, whatever you like to. I won't do this. But if you, for example, would like to delete an unused step, then you can right click and then you can choose delete. Whatever you like. So, but basically now we have created our really easy workflow. And what we now have to do is we have to click on the save button. So here we click on the save button, then you have to give it a name. So for example, now I would like to use it set test 2, for example, or the smartphones. That is fine. Again, you have the ability to assign your workflow to a package. I would like to create as a local object. And then down here, now you have a workflow ID, and the status is now new and saved. And what is needed to also be used by other users, you have to activate it. If you want to, you can do also a syntax check about the whole workflow. So this is basically fine, and then we can create it. And then we have basically activated and saved our workflow, and now it's ready to be used. As a best practice and recommendation, you should always save first your workflow in order to use it later on. You can also or always enter your workflow ID later on and make some changes. But if you forget somehow, or if, for example, the connection breaks down or whatever, you forget to save, then all your changes are lost. So this is a pity. So make sure to click the save button at first. Yeah, but basically now we can test our workflow. So, and to do this here, you have the ability to click on test. So that is what we're going to do. So we click on test. So then this will open up, and we would like to get to enter our employee within the procurement department. So we double click on this, and then down here you can enter the sub user ID of an employee. You have to make sure that you use the prefix US upfront, and then, for example, yeah, just the SAP user ID, and then you execute it, and then the workflow is started. So yeah, we need the ID of this work item later on. So I copy this. For example, if you would like to analyze your workflow in general, then you can open up the transaction code SWIA. This is a very important transaction regarding process work item as administrator. And if I type in the ID of the workflow of the work item and execute it, then down here we can see that currently our workflow is in status process. So, and then because we moved our workflow to the user Andreas G, I will log in with this user and show you what this user currently sees. So I'm logged in with Andreas G2, and to work with workflows, there you have to open up the SAP Business Workplace. So in the Start menu in the SAP Easy Access menu, for example, within the toolbar, there you have the button to execute the SAP Business Workplace, and then you will end up in here. Or you could also use the transaction code SBWP to open up the Business Workplace. And then in the inbox, and then within workflow, there you can see all the running workflows currently. And here we can see please order 10 smartphones. And then with this button execute, or with double click, there you can execute the workflow. And then we can see over to activities. So smartphones ordered or currently not possible. So, or by default, you can also cancel and keep work item in inbox if you want to. So we will select smartphones ordered. So I click on this, then the work item is gone within the inbox. And if I move over to Andreas G and, for example, do any activities, so going one step back, then we can see the express message smartphones ordered. With double click, I can see the message, the smartphones are ordered. Yeah, that is great. This is really great. So going one step back, execute this, and now we can see that this workflow is completed. And if, for example, I erase this and execute this once again, then we can see that these activities have been executed. So first of all, the please order 10 smartphones, then the email sent, and then the end of this the response of this work item to end the workflow itself. And for example, if we would like to execute this once again, to also see the other outcome, I execute this once again. I go within Andreas G2 and refresh this. Then we have this. I double click and currently I select not possible. So then this is gone. And if I select this, refresh this, then of course I get the response that currently smartphones out of stock. Oh, what a pity. And then here we can also see our other workflow. And if we refresh this, then we can see this. Yeah, and basically going again into the test. within the workflow builder. As mentioned, there are so many options within the workflow. There are so many options to troubleshoot workflows. There are so many options to enhance this. For example, you can do it dynamically based on a rule, whatever you like to. But I think with workflows you have the ability to automate repetitive tasks. Would you like to? If you want to, for example, you can also change it to a recipient type to an email address. Would you like to? But I think within this video I would wanted to show you really easily and quickly how you can build your first workflow within the SAP system. And by the way, if you get some troubles, please put that in the comment section if you have some questions left. And I think the best news is that you can subscribe this YouTube channel to follow next great upcoming videos about workflows. I will produce a lot of videos. If you have some wishes and so on, please put them in the comment section. And thank you so much for your support, and then see you in the next video.